Dear students, I've got a great pleasure in introducing to you Kimberly Chadwick and Sven Peets from Harper Adams University, Engineering, MSc, Applied and Mechatronic Engineering. I was reading about them. It's one of the oldest universities. And over to you, both of you now, to present. Your presentation is on the slide.
Fabulous. Okay, so to quickly introduce myself, my name's Kim, and I'm going to do a quick introduction around Harper Adams, just to give you a bit of a flavour of who we are and what we do. And then Sven is going to talk about the course content in much more detail than I'm able to. So to give you a very quick overview of who Harper Adams are and where we come from, we are the UK's leading provider of specialist education around sustainable agri-food and the rural economy. And we started back in 1901, where we were relatively small, and now we are a thriving modern university of the year that is delivering teaching and learning of very high quality and global impact research as well. So we've gone from having around 6 students originally up to around 5,000 now, total population. So it is growing. Harper Adams is a beautiful university. It's sort of situated between Manchester and Birmingham in the heart of the UK. Between 2 city centres, we're sort of between them, but we're in a lovely, beautiful rural location with some fantastic facilities and some places around for you to visit while you're here. In terms of a bit more about the university itself, the photo on the screen now that you should be able to see gives you a little bit of a snapshot of the campus from an aerial view. As you can see, it is very much in a rural location, but with that comes all of the fantastic facilities that we do have on campus, which I'll touch upon in a moment. So although Sven's going to be talking very specifically around one of the course areas, we do have a number of taught subjects across all of our degrees. This ranges from engineering through to business management, agriculture, zoology, animals, vet nursing, etc. So we do have a very wide range of courses that are taught across the different levels at Harper. Returning back to sort of the facilities element, we do have a huge amount of professional and social facilities on campus. We have the commercial farm on site, which does produce food for the university and for commercial companies here in the UK. We use the commercial farm as part of our teaching as well. We also have fantastic engineering facilities, which I'm sure Sven can mention in a little bit more detail as well, from sort of CAD design software seats to dedicated buildings, soil hall, machinery halls. So you do have dedicated software and facilities on site to aid that learning and that pedagogy. We have the Regional Food Academy, which again is designated and dedicated software and facilities to the food sessions. But then we also have all the social elements as well. So we do have halls of residence on site. We also have all of the sports facilities, the gym, the swimming pool. And because of us being in a rural location, we do look to make sure that social life is still as good as it can be. So we do have our student union on site, which is the students for the students. They provide a huge amount of different opportunities for students to get involved with, whether that's sports or activity, or whether that's more society-led opportunities as well. So whether you're having an interest in gaming, or if you've got an interest in anime, things like that, we do societies around those as well. Just so that there is a good balance of student life versus academic here on campus. And as an international student, you do get some extra stuff through the student life aspect. So as an international, you would be invited over 2 weeks earlier for an induction, and that gives you an opportunity to meet the team and your fellow students as well. We do offer free English language and study skills support as well via our student services team, and you also get help from international representatives, both other students currently here and staff members. We'll also be able to give you advice on immigration, arranging visas, etc. Working within the UK as well, if that's something you wanted to look at whilst you were here. And as I've mentioned, you'll have access to that cultural and social programme as well. And because of that rural nature, again, there is a shuttle bus service that allows transport in between our local towns. Our nearest local town is Newport, which is absolutely beautiful, and it's got loads of all your local amenities and everything you need on your doorstep. So you do have a shuttle service down to that as well during the week when you're here. But as I said, there's opportunity to visit those surrounding areas too. So that's a very quick snapshot of Harper in terms of where we are and what we do. But I'm going to let Sven go on to talk about the course content and what it is that you'd like to know about the course here at Harper. So over to you, Sven.
Right, thank you very much. So it's my pleasure to introduce the MSc in Applied Mechatronic Engineering. So for the benefits of those who might be wondering, so what is actually mechatronics? So simply put, mechatronics is a combination of mechanical systems, electronic systems, and information technology. And what is specific about that is, so it is a synergistic combination, meaning that we're looking at the combination of those right from the onset. So engineers from different areas will work as a team and understand the benefits of all those different domains so that they can design and demonstrate better, more efficient, novel products. And the course that we're offering is then to give you a good experience around the applied aspects of mechatronics. So the course itself, it is 1 year duration for full-time students. Students are enrolled in September. The usual mode of teaching taught modules is to deliver them in a 1 week blocks, so fairly intense, about 30 to 35 hours of contact time, and that is followed by a few weeks of time for students to basically for the knowledge to sink and to work on the assessment aspects. So we put great emphasis on managing students' workloads. So the overall pace and the task that you're given, it's all arranged in a reasonable way that you have time to complete your task successfully. So typical form of assessment is a written assignment where students reflect critically on either a analytical part or something they have maybe experimented with. So they've come up with a specification, a method, have some test data, and now they critically evaluate the results, i.e. being an engineer. The learning activities at Harper, so they are a mix of lectures, tutorials, and practicals. And obviously, as maybe in many places, but what is unique is because of the facilities that we have. So those can take place in a classroom in a very, let's say, traditional way, but more likely you're more likely to find yourself in a lab or maybe in a field setting at Harper because of the commercial farm we have running alongside the university, and also other facilities like a soil hall and state-of-the-art engineering facilities for mechatronics, and also for crops, animals, if your project or the activity is involving maybe those aspects as well. Many of the things that students are exposed to or working on, so these tend to come from our relationships with industrial partners. So here, just naming a few with whom we have very good long-term relationships. So you may find that your topic that you're working on, so there is a piece of machinery provided by maybe one of those sponsors. So in terms of the course structure, so here, just to give you a snapshot of the modules that you will be studying. So in total, 8 modules and 180 credits. So we start by giving students a good, let's say, self-learner skill to be able to find relevant information and critically assess the information and then produce a review of what is the current state of art or the current state of technology. So we can also call it, I guess, literature review, or we prefer to call it information search and review. So then moving on from that, students are exposed to more advanced statistical methods and other engineering methods which you might maybe apply by trying to improve a process, maybe manufacturing, or some other aspects where advanced decision making is required. Now, a fairly important part in mechatronics is ability to sense, apply sensors. So we expose you to the latest instrumentation for research and product development, and adding to that then the actuation aspects, the control aspects, and later on in the year, in advanced modules like advanced mechatronics and robotics, you will be working on maybe steering, navigation systems, robotics, vision systems, and so on. So here, the following 4 slides are just to give you an impression on what you might be working on. So, in addition to very professional skills or very technical skills, we also expose students to teamwork. Again, so it's all about being an engineer or becoming a better engineer. So students work in groups, so they gain transferable skills like communication skills, teamwork skills, ability to present clearly and concisely their results. So your work, again, as mentioned, your project may be involving some machinery. So you may be working outside on field, doing some kind of testing, development, investigating some performance aspects. So here, in this case, a quad bike, or if you're interested in agricultural aspects, so then you may be working with the latest technology on tractors. So what is available on CAN bus, a controller area network? Do we need some other additional actuators or sensors on the tractor to maybe enhance the efficiency? Students, as I said, work in groups, and then on those advanced modules, so you may be dealing with more with robotics. So here, examples of using small buggies. So it's not always necessary to use the real large-scale machines. Many of these principles can be applied and tested on a smaller, safer scale using small buggies. So where students can apply the navigation tools, sensing tools, so effectively building autonomous vehicles. So I'm sure you've noticed that we have high visibility vests on on students on most of those photos. So so the point is not to make those photos stand out very well. It is because we put emphasis on health and safety, good practice, risk assessments. So again, this is all part of being an engineer, becoming a better engineer, as I said. So really, I think just to maybe to capture, so what we are offering you is what we call the Harper Experience, which gives you really many opportunities to engage internationally. So for instance, here mentioning field robot events. So our students have participated in that international event. So you can compete against students at other European universities. You can also be involved in some of the aspects of research that we do at the engineering department. And obviously, you can present your work at conferences or maybe attend a show. You can also participate in writing a paper. So I think really what we're trying to offer is this kind of experience where students can conceive an idea, design a piece of system, a mechatronic system. So then they get an opportunity to implement that and also to operate that. So they get the full experience of how that product, how the system performs, and then students have a chance to critically reflect on the performance and then propose modifications. So this is really the applied nature of the things we do. So hopefully by now I have managed to convince you that you would like to apply. You would require an engineering degree to apply for this MSc course. If you are an international student and you haven't got education in English, so then you will also need to provide evidence that you are proficient in English. Now, obviously, so once you're here, we will provide you further English support as well, in addition to those technical topics. Now, in terms of your future career, or really the profile of that program, so you may have really good engineering experience already, and then again, as I mentioned, so the unique aspect is that we're trying to give you this kind of applied experience, and so once you've been through different stages of where you can actually design, operate, implement different mechatronical systems. So this grows your confidence so that you can take a leading position in manufacturing or other fields of engineering in companies. So you can be on the forefront of designing better products. Our course is fully accredited with the Institution of Agriculture and Engineers. So which means if you wish to become a chartered engineer, so then this course will give you the academic qualifications to do so. Right, so thank you very much for the opportunity, and so I'm happy to answer questions. So mostly on the content of the course, and as much as possible, I will try to answer on these admission related questions as well. Thank you.
You have 10 minutes time to answer the questions. You'll see the questions in the chat window. And after you have answered the questions, at the end of it, you'll have to tell me which are the two students who asked you the most relevant question. And we announce the prize. Okay? So over to you both now.
So I can just choose the questions. So I can see a question here, just starting from the bottom. Tuition fees and living expenses. So tuition fees for international students are £12,900 per year. Living expenses, I think for accommodation, you're looking at about £400 per month. So obviously plus minus, you may find better options. And food, yeah, I suppose £50 per week, maybe thereabouts, and then the rest depends what you want to do, how much travel you want to do.
In regards to the accommodation and the food, we do have accommodation opportunities where it's catered, so food is included as part of the set fee for the year. So there may be opportunities to look at varying prices of accommodation on a yearly budget. And how that would include or not include catered opportunities as well. Okay, yes, and obviously more details are available on Harper website. So I can see a question about what about job opportunity. So Harper is praised for high graduate employment. So we are, I believe the latest is 98% success on graduate employment. So the course will give you very good opportunities on that sense. Do you want to add to that, Kim? In terms of our job opportunities as a whole, our graduate employment rate is really high. We're currently at 97.2% of students going into employment within 6 months of graduating. I think in terms of the career opportunities, I think there's lots out there, both within the UK and internationally. I think it's very much about identifying where it is that you want to be, and our careers team here at Harper can help you to find the links to that, or to identify different pathways for you to explore. But I think there's lots and lots of career opportunities out there. It's just about what it is that you want and how we can support you to get there.
Okay, so I'm just trying to now pick questions. I think some of these questions are not just for us. I think there was a question about scholarships. Yes, so I think in terms of scholarships, it is worthwhile maybe to start with looking at what is offered at your own institution. There are many programs, joint programs between UK and various countries. So there may be a good opportunity that your own institution actually promotes that, and then there's a chance that you can apply for some kind of funding. So maybe I suggest maybe you start looking through that first, and then yeah, so there may be other opportunities as well. So there's a question. I have 10 years in IT and I would like to go for MS. How should I proceed? We do value work experience as well. So again, I suggest maybe to get in touch with the admissions team at Harper and just find out exactly how we can translate your work experience into the so that it's fulfilling the entry requirements. So these details then can be discussed with the administrative staff.
We are a university, not a private university as well. I've just spotted that question coming in at the bottom.
So there's a question. After finishing course, how long stay back and searching jobs in visa extended? So Kim, perhaps you know about that more specifically.
I don't know a huge amount around the international tier 4 visas. Unfortunately, it would be our admissions team who'd be able to advise more closely on that. However, I do believe we are able to access the individual's details after this session. So if you do have any very specific questions around entry requirements, visa applications, or the process around the application, please do get back in touch with us and we can send you some documents, electronic documents that we have that outline that process in its entirety. And we can put you in touch with certain administrative staff if needed as well.
Yeah, so there's a question. So you're mostly talking about UK, not Europe. Well, I mean, UK is part of Europe, but in terms of, yes, the let's say the immigration policy, there are differences because UK is not part of Schengen. So there is a subtle difference in that sense.
Kim and Sven, can I now request you to maybe take last question and answer the two students whose questions were relevant?
So I'm just trying to find from the whole lot of questions. Have you spotted anything, Kim, that we can answer?
I think some are linking to business and an MBA. So I think we've answered the ones that are relevant to. So Sven, yes. One that says, can one with mechanical engineering with 4 years of work experience in IT apply for an MSc?
Yes, because I mean that is an engineering degree. Yeah, I can see a question. I have completed MSc Computer Science. Is it possible to apply? I think we would have to see your qualifications, and then we can make a decision. So it's always worth getting in touch with our postgraduate admissions team and ask those questions directly. So we are very welcoming, and we're generally very helpful